It's the worst of the CBC for August 12th, 2019, the show where I watch the CBC so you don't have to. All right, today, good news for the CBC. Jeffery Epstein managed to make it back into the news cycle. Bad news, they did not do a good job. Now, overall, other than that, it was not a bad day. A lot of the stories were Canadian. You had the standard, the manhunt, and cable car being cut in BC, and a lot of different things, and some, Canadian stock stuff. So fine. Now, honorable mention here, and there's something interesting to point out. I am surprised they did cover this story. I thought this would be the number one omission, but there's a story of a 39-year-old man in Quebec who lit his ex-wife on fire in front of their kids and mother-in-law. Now, I was surprised that CBC actually put the name on the Chiron, and when I was looking to get the name, I was looking for it, and every news outlet had him just listed as 39-year-old man. That was Global, Star, and CTV. And then, funny enough, the only news article to actually list his name was CBC News. And his name, if you're wondering, is Farej Haj Massoud, which means it's time to play Canada's favorite game when it comes to violent crimes with obvious motives. What could the motive possibly be? Who knows? What could the motive possibly be? Could it be violent video games? We don't know. We will see. Could it be something else? Islam? Okay. Thanks for playing. Now let's move on to the worst story of the day, which was the handling of the Jeffery Epstein case. Now, I'm glad it made it back into the news and they covered it. But of course, they did the thing of he committed suicide, but some people say that the circumstances surrounding it are fishy. Okay, are they going to do good news here? I was getting hyped and excited, like, okay, I might have some praise today. This might be the vaunted 1 out of 10 Rosemary Bardens, the legendary Rosemary Barden score that we've all been looking for. Nope. Instead, they went on to dash those conspiracy hopes because Donald Trump tweeted conspiracies, and as you know, Orange Man is bad. Pedophilia, also bad, unless done by Justin Trudeau or transgender people. Then pedophilia, okay. But, so, it was obviously like, well, he died with some connections to some influential people, like Donald Trump and Prince Andrew. Those are the only two named. Hello, this is a Canadian news site. Does it warrant mentioning that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is also named in the flight logs to Pedophile Island? You think that might be something? And then we say, oh, conspiracy about the Clintons. Okay, I guess you can say that's bad, but do you think it'd be worth mentioning that there's actually a little bit of basis to the fact that Bill Clinton was on the plane dozens of times? I mean, Trump had banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, so they did correctly say one-time friend Donald Trump, because they knew they couldn't get away with saying friend Donald Trump. But again, completely ignoring his connection to anyone who fits their political agenda and narrative, and just assuming, oh, it's conspiracy-based. Now, if you've watched me for a long time, I'm actually quite big on not blaming things on the Illuminati. I try and provide, simple Occam's razor explanations for how things really happen without some sort of elite billionaire Illuminati class, controlling things. Things are a lot simpler to explain than, just George Soros or the Koch brothers throw lots of money at this. But let's be honest here, okay? There's one thing we know for sure, and that's Jeffrey Epstein probably didn't commit suicide, or the way it said it did. I mean, as I said, what type of billionaire knows how to take sheets and turn them into a slip knot for proper hanging themselves? It's not a skill they teach at Pedophile Island. 2, it just happens that the guards were not there that time. 3, there just happens to be no camera working at the time. All the stars align for this magical suicide that will kill a lot of the cases. And they bring on experts to say, well, don't worry, all the information will still come out. But here's the problem in a criminal prosecution thing like this. Even if things do come out, when someone is dead, it makes it really easy for everyone else to just say, yep, Jeffrey Epstein made us. Jeffrey Epstein made us. Jeffrey Epstein did this and this and this, and Jeffrey Epstein. And everyone can just pin it on the dead guy, and then people skirt justice that way. So that is a big problem. 1, from the legal aspect, and 2, I mean, don't kill me, Hillary, is another story. So we have a news network that's dismissing this all as conspiracy, even though they spent a good 3 years pushing the Russiagate conspiracy. Yeah, Vladimir Putin is controlling Donald Trump because he peed on Russian hookers, says BuzzFeed. Okay, thanks, CBC. our most trusted name in news, which brings us to our number one omission of the day. This weekend, there was a report, and I've been saving this one, from the Public Policy Forum. There's been a study done on over 1,000 Canadians. It's a reputable study that shows that people who consume mainstream media are less informed than people who don't. Mainstream media, like CBC News, which was one of the things tested, leads to higher rates of disinformation among the general public, i.e., CBC is fake news. Is disinformation or is bad news practices. The most concrete finding you have here is people who watch large amounts of mainstream media in Canada are less likely to express uncertainty when it comes to news stories, but more likely to express incorrect information on said policies or whatever. Which means is if you watch a lot of mainstream media, you're very confident that you know things, but the things you know aren't true. That's what the study has found. And Canadian Minister of Misinformation Katrina Gold, who is in charge of internet censorship and, ironically, it's called Democratic Institutions, she's been caught tweeting out fake news on conservatives and stuff, and this is the person in charge of the fake news. So, all in all, not a great day for CBC, but because it was only a few bad stories and they did name him, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10, which is a barely passing grade on the Rosemary Barton scale. So today's CBC was 5 Rosemary Bartons out of 10, which all in all is good by CBC standards, but as the studies show, bad by realistic news standards. I will see you guys tomorrow.